Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Alma Clothing. Today we are going to do the continuation of the overlap dress, puff sleeve and gather gown. I will show you how to sew it. This video is mainly for sewing. So we'll be learning how to sew this gown. The overlapping, the band, the gather, the sleeve, just this gown. So first of all, we'll start with the gather. I cut another part for the gather. I wanted it to be more full. So the first thing we'll do for the down part is to join it first. The one I want to join together to make it more full. So join it first before we start fixing the gather. After that, we'll fix our gather. You will start from the beginning. When you want to fix the gather, you will leave at least 1 inch or half. Then make sure your threadings are out there enough before you start fixing the gather. I like fixing 2 rope for my gather. I like sewing 2 times. I like the after result. So so when you get to the edge, you won't stop at the edge. You do like ½ inch, then make sure the threads are out well. You can see the first thread is long enough, so same thing with the other part. Start again, continue sewing. Oh, my thread cut. Let me fix it. I'm back. So continue sewing. You'll get to the end part of the sewing. Just leave like ½ inch, then make the thread long, then you cut it off. Now this is the overlapping part. You can see I cut 4 pieces out, so I'm going to use one fabric to sew one. So this is the neck part, the V shaping. So I'm sewing with ½ inch. I'll reverse the other one to the same thing. I'm using one fabric to line in the other one. Starting from the down now to the shoulder. So you reverse. Then I'm going to top stitch. I'm trying to arrange it so I'll know the other parts that I'm going to top stitch on. So I've gotten the part to top stitch on. So I finished top stitching. I'll go and sew the down parts. Trying to flip off, rearrange it very well. Then sew the down part, sew the other one also. So we are done with the front, the overlapping part. So I'm going to the back now. For the neck, I'm going to bias the neck. So this is the back, I'm biasing it. And sew on top. Do for the other part also. So we're on to the fixing of zip. I felt for chalk out my 1.5. The 1.5 I chalk out is the zipper allowance, so the zip will be on that 1.5 part. You can't fix the zip in 1 inch, it's going to have issues. So I chalk my 1.5 first before I start fixing the zip. The same way you chalk when sewing, that is the same way you do when cutting, that is the same way you do when sewing. There will not be a mistake. You can't cut 1.5 and sew 1 inch. So I'm done with my zip. Just stop stitching it down so that it will be firm. So I'm going to fix my dart now. Remember we left 1/2 for the dart, so half is 1. The length of my dart is 7. So it's time to sew the sleeve. So this edge part of the sleeve, I'm going to sew it by 1/2 inch. The seam parts, I'll sew it by 1/2 inch. That is the side. The other one too, the same thing. Make it equal. Then sew by 1/2 inch. Just half. Then for the down, I'm going to fold it down 1.5. Then 1/2 inch will be inside. Then the outer part will be 1 inch. Look at what I'm doing, 1.5. You can see this is 1.5. Then fold 1/2 inside. What will be remaining out will be 1 inch, so that the elastic can pass through it. We are fixing a 1/2 inch elastic, so by the time we fix the elastic, there will be no. If you leave 1/2 inch out to fix the elastic, there will be struggles. So just if it's a 1/2 inch elastic, just make it 1 inch. If it's a 1 inch elastic, you can make it 1.5, so that there won't be any struggle when trying to fix it. You can see I'm just sewing it down. I'll measure my 1.5, put 1/2 inch inside, then sew. I won't stop at the edge. I will leave allowance where I can fix my thread. Where I can fix the elastic. So the same thing I did for the first one, I'll also do for the second one. Measure 1.5. Half inch will be inside. Then sew. I see the same process I used for the first one, I'm using for the other one also. I remember you won't sew everything, you leave like 1 inch allowance for you to fix your elastic. So how do you fix your elastic? I do use safety pin. I took the safety pin to the elastic, close it up. Then I'll start fixing from the hole I left. Okay, that is the whole part. I'm trying to cut off the thread. Then I'll start fixing. So as you're fixing it, you'll be dragging it out so that the thing can go in freely. So I don't know how you fix yours, but this is how I fix mine. I use a safety pin to fix my elastic. I've tried using hand needle, but it didn't work well. So I just stick to safety pin, and it has been doing good since. So after that, you check if the allowance is okay for you. You can use your tape, but this is elastic, so I just fit it with my hand. Then I sew it up. Make sure you reverse it so it won't pull off, shouldn't loosen. Then cut it. Yeah, that's it. I have my elastic fixed already. The allowance is too much, so it's popping out, so I want to close it up. The allowance that we left for the fixing of the elastic is popping up. So make sure you reverse it so it will start losing again. So I want to show you how to fix shoulder neatly. This is the front and the back. So I'm going to place the front on the back, right, front side facing front side. Then you take the lining and turn it up. Turn it from the front. There is it, like so. You can see what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain it better. Just like this, then fold it like this. This way you turn your lining neatly. Although I didn't use lining for this fabric, I used the main fabric for it. So if you want to use the lining, same thing. You can see it. Place it, arrange it well. Then sew 1/2 inch. This is the shoulder part. This has to join a mid shoulder. Just when you actually reverse it, so it won't start losing up. So you can see the result of the shoulder. You can see the way it came out neat. You can see it. This thing is not showing out. The seam allowance. Now we want to sew the under bust of our dress. For the front parts, go to arrange it well. So start with one of our overlap. Start sewing from the end part by 1/2 inch. I've notched my band already. You can see the notching. That is the notching. So I want to go in by how many allowance? By 3 inch. What I'm doing now is to get the puff part where I'm going to pleat at my under bust. So from the shoulder, I'm just going to make it straight. So that's the part I'm going to pleat. And what I'm going in by is 3 inch. So the overlapping, can remember I did 3 inch. Then the place I'm going to pleat is the 1/2 we did for the zipper allowance. So this place I'm getting now is where I'm going to place on it. So we are just going to do a little pleat at that part. So that is my 3 inch. So the remaining one that coming out is the pleating. So the pleating is not much, it's just 2 inch. But if you want yours to be more, you can. I left 3 inch for the allowance plus 1/2. So it's 1/2 I'm pleating now. So the 1/2 can, if you want yours to be more, you can do more than that. You can make your own 5 or 6. So I'm going to get the other one. Okay, if you remember, it's an overlapping dress. So from that notching, I'll get my 3 inch again. So my 3 inch is starting from the notching. That is where my 3 inch is. From the notching to the other side, that is 3 inch. I've already fixed my other overlap to the 3 inch. You can see I've reversed it. I remember, okay, yes, I've not finished pleating. Then I'll continue pleating while I place the other overlap on it. So I've gotten to the center now. Stop. Then I'll get my other pleating now. That point, the way I got that first one, I want to try to get it. And that is it. This is where my pleating is. I'm going to pleat on this one. Just the same two pleats again. So I'll sew it down. 1/2 inch down to the. So you make sure your band is the exact measurement with your waist, then the allowance 1.5, 1.5. Guys, you can see it. So this is the results. You can see how it come out. There's a pleating here, the other part is the pleating, and it has lapped each other. So this is it. This is how it's coming out now. Let's continue. So I'll continue with the shaping. We'll shape it first before we'll fix our gather and the sleeve. So we join it together. I think to get this shaping more, because of the pleats and the bust is not really equal to each other, I prefer we'll turn it to the back. But I'm getting my waist. The waist are equal. It's the bust part that will have a little issue. The bust part cannot be equal if you are putting pleats. Except you are not putting any pleats, then the bust part can be equal. Can see the bust is kind of, the front is bigger than the back because of the pleats we added to it. It cannot be the same. So I'm trying to fix my needle, trying to hold them firm because of the shaping. Okay, I finished pinning. Then the shaping, I have to turn it to the back. I can't really get it like this. So let's turn it to the back part. So my bust is 34. 34 divided by 2 is 17. So we're getting 17. The allowance that's remaining is 1.5. If you do for the back part, you turn to the front part and do it. My waist is 27 divided by 2. That's 13.5. So I'm getting 2 inch from my waist. This is my 13.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm getting 2 inch. Now I'm going to shape it down. So you can see the shape, the front part. To get a good shaping, just shape the back, then turn it over to the front part and shape. If you don't want to sew upside down, if you end up sewing these 2 parts back, by the time you want to sew the second side now, you will start from the down part from the back instead of starting from the armhole. Because I like starting my shaping from the armhole. I don't know about you. So we're done shaping. Okay, like I said, I want to give another curve. Taking off my pin. Please don't forget to take out your pin. What pin also trick your clients, please. So I've taken off my pin. It's time to fix our gather. I've not finished drawing my gather. I've drawn one part. Let me show you how I draw the other part. For this 2 threading gather, you hold the 2 threads together. You don't draw one and leave one. You draw the 2 at once. That's it. No, by the time you finish doing this, you got 4 threads. 2 at the back, 2 at the front. So you do from the front. You hold the 2 thread and draw the 2 thread at the front. You can't draw one and leave one. No, I draw the both together. But you be very careful so that your thread will not cut off. So I'm still drawing my gather. I've drawn one part. I'm just drawing. So people, after drawing their gather, they'll take the measurements. Okay, let's say my waist is 27 plus 1.5 allowance. That is 30. They'll just measure 30, then they'll sew a stitch on it so it will be firm. But I don't like doing it. I like to make it. I like to drag my gather when fixing it to the waist. I don't just sew thread on it. So you start from your zipper part. If you sew your zip down, you have to loosen it a little. So I'm not cutting the thread. I'm just cutting the extra from the fabric. So you loosen the gather a little bit. You don't want to gather from the zipper allowance. So you just loosen it so that the 1.5 should be out. It should be straight there. So the gather starts immediately after the zip. Your sewing should be 1/2 inch. Remember, we are adding 1/2 inch for the allowance. 1/2 inch up, 1/2 inch down, that is 1 inch. So your sewing should not be more than 1/2 inch so that your measurements will correspond. You can see me, I'm dragging that. If I feel it's too much over there, I'll just drag to adjust it. I don't like sewing first before I start fixing my gather. I don't know the one that works for you, but this is what works for me. I'm not cutting the thread, I'm just moving the excess from the fabric. And what I do at this waist part, I do take off like 1 inch from the waist part. It kind of give it a curve, a shape that I like. From the dart part, I raise my gather up, then I leave 1 inch down at the shaping part, the side. You can see that is the side. I don't just sew straight when I get to that side. Then I arrange my gather where I come back again. You can see there's 1 inch allowance by the side, the shaping side. I continue to sew by 1/2 inch. Don't cut your thread, please. Just cut out if there's any excess on the fabric, the threading that's coming out from the fabric, just cut it off. Then I start getting to the side. Oh, my thread finished. Let me quickly fix it back. Let's continue. How do I know when to go up from one gather to the other? That's what I do. So this front does not have a gather. How do I know the gather? The place I pleat, that part is like the gather part. So I go up by 1 inch, come down. That is the allowance. I'm shifting it back to the front. When I get to the back gather, I come back again. I'm trying to adjust the gathers. You can see that is my 1 allowance out. Then I'm coming down again. I'm slanting it down to the darts, to the darts back. Then it will rhyme back down to the zipper part. Doing this it makes these waist parts look nice. If you just sew everything straight, it will look like the waist part is falling, and I don't like it. So I just do that by the two sides. Even though it's a straight gown, when I get to that place, I must slant. So we are finished fixing our gather. What I'll do now is to close the zip parts. Make sure they are equal. Remember your allowance, 1.5. So you reverse and sew it 1.5 down. What I'm sewing now is at the down part, the gather part. I want to fix back the zip, so I'm sewing it straight down. I'm going to leave small allowance, like up to 5 to 6, so that the zip can come down. Now this is the down part. I'm taking off 1 inch allowance. I'm sewing 1 inch off. So this is the down part, that is the gather part. Remember my gown length was 18. I added 1.5, that is 19. I've sewn half up, then the remaining 1 inch, this down part, that's what I'm sewing now. So by the time I finish sewing, my measurement comes back to 18. So you just sew and make sure it's 1 inch round for the down of the gather. My thread again. I'll fix it. I hope you understand what I'm doing, guys. Just make sure you measure and sew so that there won't be any comma. By the time you do some parts 1 inch, do some parts 1.5, there will be a mistake. It won't be straight. So please measure as you go. We're almost done. We are through with the gather down part of the gather. So you go and fix your zip down. Then let's fix the sleeve. When you take the sleeve, you fix it to the armhole part, the down part, that is the shaping. Then you sew and then you sew. This sleeve is having a puff, so we'll not just sew, and the sleeve is excess, is more than the armhole, so we are pleating it. So I'm looking for the notching. Of course, the notching will be equal with the shoulder joining. Then you pleat the remaining ones, the excess of the sleeve. Yeah, that is it. So and remember, 1/2 inch. So learn to sew with 1/2 inch. It's very nice. That means you are sewing with your measurements. So we are almost through with one sleeve. We are through already. Let's do the second sleeve the same way we did the first one. The down part should be the same, the join, the shaping part, then the sleeve, the first place we join before we start folding the down part, they must be equal. Then start sewing by 1/2 inch. Remember to get the notching, and make sure the notching and the shoulder joining is equal, so you will know when to pleat your puff, how to get the pleating. We're almost done with the sleeve. So we are done with the dress. We have fixed our puff sleeve. So this is how the gown came out. You can see my overlap. You can see the two pleats that I did at that down part. You can see the band is 3 inch. I fixed stay at the band. You can see my gather is full. I remember I added to it so as to come out full. As if I didn't add to it, it would be very small. My puff and the elastic at the down, you can see my gather is coming out well. There's no puff at the back. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Subscribe so when I upload a new video you get notified.